and welcome to Yoga Jadra. Today we're going to talk about Sarvangasana or shoulder stand. Shoulder stand has a lot of nice benefits. It's going to reach our toes up towards the sky and let our heart have a little break from pumping blood all day long. This is going to be really calming for our bodies. We're also going to squeeze out the neck, cleaning out the thyroid gland a bit. We're going to strengthen the core, the back muscles, the neck muscles, even the legs, and a little bit the arms. We're going to start with legs up the wall. And for legs up the wall, you may want to have a small pillow or bolster or even just a rolled up blanket for lower back support if you like. Optional, but you will need your mat. So go ahead and grab your mat and whatever else you would like for props, and we're about to begin. Legs up the wall. I'm going to actually scoot right up against the wall and then rotate to get my toes just right on up against the wall. It's exactly as the name describes. I'm going to relax my arms down to the side. It's a very passive pose here. And I've got lots of benefits. I've got my feet higher than my heart, so the blood's going to drain, and I'm going to give a rest to my veins and all of the pumping that they do all day long. Actually can prevent varicose veins, and it would also feel good if you already have varicose veins, because your blood will be able to drain a little more easily towards the heart. It's very calming and relaxing for our bodies to have the feet higher than the heart. Now this is a great, really lovely passive pose, but if you have anything going on in the back and you need a little assistance, you're welcome to use a pillow. I'm just going to sneak the pillow right on in underneath my back. You have a bolster, you could use that, which is basically like kind of a more stuffed pillow. I really recommend this pose at the end of the day. No matter if it's a really easy pose for you or if it's something that's kind of strange and unusual, I definitely take some time to just be in this passive, easy pose at the end of every day. Calm the body, the heart, the mind. So much room to breathe. So next step, I'm going to move the pillow out of the way. I'm actually going to walk. I'm going to get my seat right up against the wall. I'm going to walk my feet against the wall to lift up my hips. Now we're getting into a little bit of strength. And you can hold here. You could have support with the hands on the lower back, perhaps. That's beneficial. And then maybe the next step would be to actually walk up into the full pose. And to come down, I'll bring my feet back to the wall and lower my hips and just roll right out of it. There's a couple of things I really want to think about when I'm getting into Sarvangasana or shoulder stand. They're going to help me stay safe in this pose. One is that I want to keep my nose pointing straight forward. So this is going to keep my vertebrae in line and protect my neck. I'm going to protect my neck and vertebrae up through into the skull. So when I roll down, I'm going to roll down onto my back. I want to make sure that my nose stays looking up towards the ceiling, up towards my toes, rather than going side to side. So if you've never practiced Sarvangasana before, definitely watch before you do it, because you're not going to be able to look at the screen when you do the pose, because you're going to need to be looking at the ceiling unless you're Screen is on the ceiling. I'm going to sit forward on my mat so that I have lots of room behind me to roll down onto the surface of that soft mat rather than be okay here. I've got a carpet, but if you're on hardwood floor or cement or any other hard surface, you really want to make sure you have that cushion of the mat behind you. I'm going to roll down, I'm going to shoot my toes up into the air. And when my toes go up into the air, I'm putting a lot of weight, a lot of pressure on the back of my neck. So in order to relieve some of that, I'm going to place my hands on my lower back for support. And that's really, really crucial, especially if you're just starting out, to protect your neck and body. So here we are. I'm going to start in staff pose. I'm going to breathe in here. Exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift the toes up. And I'm going to scoot my hands, here we go, right onto my lower back. I'm going to hold some weight here in my hands. Now, this is the pose. This is shoulder stand. And this might not be what it looks like right away, especially if you're starting out. So for most folks, for myself included, it starts out a little lower, right? And then we're going to work our way. We're going to strengthen and strengthen and strengthen and get higher and higher with our tippy toes. As you can see, lots of similar benefits to legs up the wall. I got my toes high. I'm giving my heart a break. I am giving my veins a break. Now I'm also squeezing the thyroid. You can hang out here. You can hang out here for a little while. A few breaths. A little meditation. If you want to get into something a little more fun, just thinking about like combining poses, you could bring your foot down into like a tree pose on one side, and then onto the other side just for fun. And of course you're building some strength. To get out of Sarvangasana shoulder stand, we usually will go through plow or halasana next. So I'm going to bring my knees down towards my face and then maybe reach them overhead. And slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, I'll come out of the pose. Use your hands underneath the seat to support you because you're going to lower your legs. You really want to use your abdominal muscles. No gravity here. We're just going to actually engage all the way down. And then you can release onto the mat. So that is the traditional Sarvangasana pose, well, with the tree pose variation. Now I'm going to go up into a more challenging variation. So if you have open hips, if you've got the lotus pose, this might be a fun practice for you. I'm going to shoot up into shoulder stand. I'm going to tuck my right foot in and then my left foot, and bring, instead of my toes up towards the ceiling, bring my knees up towards the ceiling. So it looks like this. First, I'm actually going to grab the foot and tuck it into my hip. Same with the left. I'm going to grab it and tuck it in. Hand goes back to the lower back, and then my knees rise up towards the sky. Okay, hang out like this for a while. Days, months, years. Then if you feel like you've gotten some strength, could shoot your knees like you're sitting on the ceiling. So now it's like I'm sitting on the ceiling. Now that I've strengthened the muscles in my neck over the course of years, I can maybe add my hands to my knees and just hang out here. And I'll just reverse course to come out of it. Untuck, lower down, and make your way down onto the mat. Sarvangasana is a big squeeze for the thyroid gland. So it's pushing out all of the old blood and toxins. And a really common follow-up pose is going to be fish pose or Matsyasana, because that's the opposite for the thyroid. So go check out the Matsyasana fish pose tutorial, just so you can get that reverse for the thyroid if you practiced today the Sarvangasana. And that is Sarvangasana, shoulder stand. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this tutorial, if you found it helpful, please like and subscribe. It really means a lot to me, and it really helps keep the whole Yoga Jadra project going. Thank you.